Hello, and welcome to this last lecture before the summary on how do we maintain and report the solution design matrices for the business and leadership review. I am Arun Singhal, your management coach and mentor with 40 years of experience in people development. So, what are we going to do in this session? In this section and lecture, there's only one lecture in this section, is to give you an in-depth understanding of how do we maintain and report the solution design matrices for business and leadership review that can help us build excellence in solution design. And at the end of this lecture, what we will do is we will take a look at three things. One, what matrices to report and maintain, how to report them, and how to use them. That's the most important part, right? Wonderful. So, how do you think, what matrices do you think we need to maintain and report? Any thoughts? Okay. So, let's look at, I think it should be those metrics or matrices that can help us track in meeting the excellence requirements in solution design, right? And we looked at that the solution design excellence requirement is to manage the end-to-end process that can, in a manner that can deliver consistently greatest value, required quality at the least possible cost and in shortest possible time using systematic disciplined approach and with application of right tools and technologies, methodologies. So our matrices also should be aligned to measuring the end-to-end process. That is important. There is no point measuring one part of the process because we need to measure the overall process. And we have clearly what we need to measure here. So what about using the process excellence tools for the end-to-end process itself? We have talked about process excellence tool. So we have this process. So why don't we use, and the output of that has to be value to the customer, greatest value to the customer. We must meet their requirements. We should do that at minimum cost and minimum time. So why don't we put the matrices in such place that these are the customer requirement, and accordingly we make measures and matrices that can measure the effectiveness of the whole solution design end-to-end process. Make sense? Wonderful. So how to maintain and report them? If these are the four matrices that we talked about, the value delivered to the client, how many times have we met the requirement, the cost and time taken. So how do we maintain and report them? Any thoughts on that? As I see, the best way to maintain this, it would be by maintaining an end-to-end process dashboard. Because I would be very careful against being suboptimal in measuring the process performance. So there is no point in measuring one part of the process. We should measure the overall process, end-to-end process, and we should measure the output that is expected of the process, and we should maintain a dashboard as you see on your screen. And the important part of the dashboard are those four parameters: value to customer, meeting requirements, cost of the development, and the time taken to develop the solution or the process. Right, and in that what we should do is we should measure the results in first column, and for each of these area we should have a plan for the year. And then we should see against that where are we performing actually and what has been the last year's performance for the same period. And that gives us a good idea. Are we delivering to the plan? Are we improving over last year, etc., etc. Second important part of the dashboard is we should discover what are the key drivers for each of these parameters, outputs in the spirit of the process excellence. If Y is the value to customer, what are the 3 or 4 or 5 key X that determine our ability to deliver value to customer, and those we should also have planned actual and last year tracked. Makes sense? So that if you do well, fine. If you don't do well, you know what is going out of control, like in the form of a statistical process quality control check, right? Makes sense? Wonderful. So how to use them? Once we have, supposing we have these four measures and we have the dashboard in place and we are measuring, so and we get the data. Now question is, what do we do with the data? So the whole idea would be to put this in form of a process, and I have a process here for you. First, we need to define the four measures, and these definitions be specific to your business and the client requirements. Then we need to start measuring from whatever time we have defined the measure, got leadership alignment, especially because it is for business and leadership, acceptance is important. Then we start reviewing the process performance for each project. If you are on the job shop type or a project type environment, then you need to do for each. And if you have multiple projects, then you need to do for the whole process as such. But we need to start measuring the performance for each project. Identify enablers and barriers for the performance of each project and YTD. So each project, there should be what is called a review of the project before we close, and in which we say how well did we do on these 4 parameters and what made that happen and what the obstacle in making it better. And then from there we have our lessons learned, and we should formulate improvement plans as we go forward and present these findings to the leadership and business for reviews, right? So what did we learn in this section? That we need to track those measures that can help us in meeting the excellence requirements in solution design. And these are the 4 key measures which we have been tracking all along in the course: value to customers, meeting quality requirements, the cost of the development, and the time taken. Then we need to maintain and report them by maintaining an end-to-end process dashboard. That is very important. And use the following steps for the end-to-end process to be improved to an excellent level. Define the 4 measures clearly in agreement with the leadership team. Start measuring them. Start reviewing the process performance for each project. Important. Each project. Identify enablers and barriers for each project and YTD, year till date performance. And have lessons learned and formulate improvement plans and start implementing. And there should be no reason why you can't touch the excellence levels in solution design. So what is in it for you in the next section? If there is a next section, yes, there is. Isn't time to check what you know about the excellence in solution design? So we have a practice quiz coming up for 60 minutes where you can check how well do you know about excellence in solution design. So good luck for that quiz, and thank you so much for watching this whole course, the videos, and learning about building excellence in solution design, in particularly this lecture of maintaining and reporting of the solution design matrices. I hope you have enjoyed this lecture as well as the whole course, and I look forward to seeing you again when we do the summary module. So look forward to seeing you again, and thank you so much again.